Hey, what's up, music lovers? You are watching the Music Choice Show, U&A, where you, the fans, get to ask your favorite artists some of the questions you've been wanting answered. I'm Micah Jesse, and our guest today is Charli XCX.
Hello.
What's going on?
Not much. I've just been traveling on tour, so it's kind of intense at the moment, but it's good.
But you're in our great city of New York City.
Yes.
Do you love it?
I do love it. I'm excited because I'm staying here for 5 days, which is kind of like a really long stop on this tour, you know, so it's cool.
So when you're not touring in New York, or when you're not performing, what do you like to do here?
Well, I love Patricia Field, so whenever I'm here, I always go to her store and just buy a load of stuff that I don't need, but I love it. I love all the stuff in there. And apart from that, I don't know, like, just kind of walk around and kind of, you know, see friends. There's loads of good bars here. So.
Totally. Talk to me about your fashion a little bit, because you guys take a look here. I love the look. You just did a collaboration, actually, with Urban Outfitters.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
They approached me and they wanted to kind of work together on a video project. So we decided that we were going to do my song "Take My Hand." And it was really cool. They were like really, really great, and you know, I really like them as a brand and as a store, you know, and they were great. They just like gave me cash and was like, go and make a video, and they weren't even like put loads of our clothes in it. They were just like, go and be you as an artist. That's what's cool about them. They were really like artist friendly, and so I work always with the same director, Ryan Andrews, and we basically just like made this video which was about kind of like where I came from when I started music, which was performing in clubs and like the rave scene in London, and we just recreated like this kind of Larry Clark Kids meets Party Monster style party, and we had like a girl on roller skates and everything. It's really
super fun.
Yeah.
Tell me about how your style though has changed since you first began, which was quite a few years ago, to now.
I think it's just changed naturally. You know, as I've grown up, I feel like when I was 14, I remember I went through this like phase where I wanted to dress like Avril Lavigne, and I'd wear like 5 belts at once, and I'd have like streaks of pink in my hair and stuff like that. I feel like, you know, when I was 14 and younger, I was just experimenting with fashion and, you know, like kind of replicating stuff that I liked, but always getting it wrong. Okay. I feel like that's what's great about being 14. Like, you have to have fashion disasters all the time. That's kind of what's great about childhood, I think.
Totally.
So yeah, I don't know. I guess as I got older, I kind of began to appreciate like minimalism more, and you know.
Totally.
So yeah.
Tell us something. Is it Charli XCX or is it 100?
No, it's Charli XCX, which means Kiss Charli Kiss.
Kiss Charli Kiss. Now, where did that come from? We've all been wondering.
Well, it was my MSN screen name when I was younger, back in the day, and it kind of just stuck from there, really. But yeah, I guess XCX is like everything cute and like, you know, I don't know, sweet and sugary and like wonderful about everyone, so everyone can use it, you know.
I love it. So I'm Micah XCX.
You're like XMX.
XMX.
You know?
Okay, I'll take it.
That's what you can be.
How much fun is that? All right, so now we're getting to know each other. Let's get into some icebreakers to get to know you a little bit better. What is your favorite snack food?
Oh, my favorite snack food. At the moment, I love Pop-Tarts. Yeah, I've kind of been living on like Pop-Tarts and sushi.
Sushi's my favorite. Now, are you a Pop-Tarts like toaster girl?
No.
Okay.
Cold.
Because you know you're one or the other.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's all about the cold, because I feel like Pop-Tarts can be really lethal. You know, when you put them in the toaster.
Oh, they can burn your mouth.
Yeah. And then your day is ruined, you know?
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
It's not fun. Your whole mouth is on fire. What is the best 90s song, in your opinion?
Oh, wow. That's a lot to choose from. Well, I don't know. I mean, there's kind of like the two sides, you know? I'd say probably, like, if I'm talking like pop-tastic amazingness, maybe like, I mean, Hit Me Baby One More Time is such a classic.
Oh my God,
you know?
I love her even more now. Don't you guys out there? Yeah. All right, now what's the first thing you miss about England every time you come here?
Nothing.
Besides your friends and family.
No, I didn't say that. I don't know, like, really good tea, which is probably such a stereotype.
What's your go-to tea?
English breakfast with a lot of milk. Not cream.
No cream?
Yeah, that is weird, you know?
Do you put an ice cube in?
No.
Because you don't like things hot.
No. I do put cold water.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. No, if you could do only one, would you rather sing or write music?
I think probably write music. Oh, I don't know. Just because, you know, if you're writing music, you have, like, full control. Whereas if you're singing, like, does that mean that you're, like, just a puppet? Or does that mean you're writing as well? I don't know. It depends.
Well, you'd have to be only choosing one.
Oh, okay, so I'd write.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good call. Now, if you were stranded in a desert, what 3 things would you need to have on you in order to not go totally insane?
Okay. I would probably need to have some music, maybe like I'd probably have the Uffy record, Sex Dreams and Denim Jeans, just because I love that album so much.
Love it.
I'd have, like, is it cheating if you have, like, your phone?
No,
so
because
like,
I mean, you need to
call people. If you have your phone, then you kind of have everything, don't you?
Right, you have
like,
Facebook.
Yeah, which is, like, so sad that that's what I think about. But yeah, and maybe, like, I'd have, like, a cat as well, because I never had a cat because my mum's afraid of them. So
what kind of cat would you have?
One of those really, like, fluffy,
like the Persian cats?
Yeah.
White or black?
Yeah.
White. Okay, it might get dirty in the desert, but all right. So the show is all about the fans. If you guys are tuning in now, Charli is here live in studio. Just tweet or Facebook in your questions using the hashtag MCUNA. Our first question comes in from Amy, who wants to know what is an item of clothing that you couldn't live without?
Definitely these platform boots.
Check these out. How many inches are those?
You know what? They're actually only like 4.
Okay.
It's nothing lethal, but I do have like some like 8-inch ones, which are kind of heavy, so I don't wear them all the time. But these are getting really gross. These have like holes in.
You can't tell, but there is some glitter on here, which makes them ultra fabulous.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, are you ever worried about falling?
No, these are like foolproof.
Okay.
Unless you're drunk, and then they're not foolproof. but yeah, I mean they're kind of gross now. I need to get new ones.
Trash and vaudeville.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I will.
I tell you, they have a great shoe department.
I will.
All right, so Holly wants to know, where is your favorite place you visited so far and why?
Well, I always love it when I go to Paris. To be honest, I've only done 2 shows there, actually, but I always just, you know, I feel like Paris it's just like the city of romance, and it makes me feel sophisticated. It makes me feel like a character, you know. So I do love it there. I wish I could speak better French, but yeah, well, I love it every time I go there.
All in due time.
Exactly.
All right. Kyle, who appears to be a pretty big fan of yours, has a couple of questions. First up, he says, what are your favorite 3 songs at the moment?
At the moment, it's probably Mirrors by Justin Timberlake.
Obsessed.
He's like our tour, like, music everywhere. Whenever we leave a hotel, we put Mirrors on because it's such a, like, anthemic kind of, it's like the end of a movie song.
JT is back.
It's really emotional. So yeah, that. What else? I mean, Just Like Heaven by The Cure. I always listen to that. And this song, Lemon Incest, which is by Serge Gainsbourg and Charlotte Gainsbourg. I've been listening to that all day today, and it's really cool.
Googling it.
Yeah,
all right, Kyle has another question. He also wants to know, how do you feel you relate to artists that are similar as far as in the music industry?
I feel like, I don't know, like I think artists, I mean, I never really knew this until I kind of got in the music industry, but I feel like other artists who are like around me, my peers and whatever, like we're all very like kind of respectful of each other, of each other's projects, you know. And I mean, especially like the people that I know, like Marina, Miss Mister, it's kind of like, it's cool. There's like no competition between any of us, you know. I went to the Miss Mister show the other night, and it was the first time I'd seen them live properly, and it was amazing. And I was like this crazy, like, super fan. I was like, yeah, oh my god, you know, that's so good. Like, jumping, screaming. Everyone was like, can you calm down? I was like, no, this is great, you know.
That's so wonderful.
I was yelling like, "Take your top off, Max!" I'm kind of that embarrassing person.
I totally saw you tweeted thanks to all the people who threw their bras on stage.
Oh yeah, I had all the people. One person, I had my first bra thrown at me.
What did that feel like?
Well, I didn't see it, so it was really disappointing. My keyboardist afterwards was like, "Did you see the bra?" I was like, "No, I really wanted it. I wanted to go and get it."
Is that something you always hoped would happen?
I mean, kind of. But you know what? I always wonder about bras being thrown on stage. Like, does the person who's thrown the bra on stage actually take their bra off and throw it, or do they take a spare one with them in their bag and throw it? And then after because they threw their bra at me when, like, I was opening for Marina, so does that mean for the rest of the gig she's like jumping around like loose? Like, that must hurt.
Probably.
Like, I don't know. I just think
that's really, really funny. I never thought about that. But moving on, Hughes on Twitter asks, if you could be any Disney character, who would you be?
Wow. I think Ariel's pretty cool. She has great hair as well. She has
amazing.
Always really good hair. Yeah, probably her. Probably her.
Cool. Into that. Now let's talk about your roots. You are from Hertfordshire? Is that how I say it? I'm from the South. Hertfordshire.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, really good.
Tell me about that. Like, how is it a small town? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a town. It's very kind of normal, you know? Okay. Very normal, very, very, I don't know how to describe it. Very just like plain, normal, nice, pretty, lots of greenery. And
okay, where is it in relation to London?
It's like north of London, like an hour north.
Okay, did you make it into the city a lot?
Yeah, when I was younger, like, not that much, but I mean, when I started playing these raves and stuff, I would go once, like, every week at the weekend to East London to play these parties. Okay.
And what kind of girl were you like growing up? Were you the same you are now, or how would you describe yourself back then?
Really stubborn. I mean, I still am now, but really stubborn, but always kind of like, you know, I really liked school. I was kind of a nerd, like I still am now. Like, I really liked school. When I was like really young, I used to get given for Christmas. I used to get those, you know, you could get those like chemistry sets, you know, like where you could like make crystals and stuff like that. Yeah. I really liked that. And then I actually began like studying chemistry and realised that it was much harder than the sets told me that it was. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I was like kind of nerdy, and I loved art as well at school.
Well, I was going to say, my next question was that if you weren't doing music, what would you be doing? Would you be doing science, or would you be an artist?
I definitely wouldn't be doing science.
Too hard?
Too hard. Confusing for me. But, I mean, I went to art school. I went to study fine art. And I was basically doing these, like, performance pieces where I would cover the wall with posters of Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez, and then like I'd spray paint over the top Britney Lives On, and then I'd dance with this toy dog I had to Hit Me Baby One More Time, and that was my kind of like art.
Is there a video of this?
No.
I think I need to see that.
I mean, and I hope. Well, I mean, I thought it was really cool, but I left because I found everything really confusing, and I hated having to explain myself, which is funny because now doing press, it's like you have to explain about your album all the time and everything. But that's fine, you know. But I just was kind of like, there was always this question like, well, why do you like Selena Gomez? You must be being ironic. You must be. It's like, no, I just like her, and I got frustrated, so I left and didn't become an artist.
Okay, you know? But you mentioned Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Why Britney?
I think she's the best pop star. You know, I think she's, in this day and age, what everybody wants their pop stars to be like. And I also think that her music is great, especially the record that Danger Hands produced, which was like Gimme More and Pieces of Me. Mm-hmm. I think those songs are amazing, you know, and like some of the videos are great. Like the "Hit Me Baby One More Time" video is amazing.
Iconic.
Yeah, so iconic. And "Oops, I Did It Again." That red flare catsuit is like life, you know?
It's life in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Now, you started writing, we read somewhere, tell me, set the record straight, around the age of 8?
No.
Okay.
That's not true.
When did you start writing?
When I was 14, I was writing.
Okay. Now, what were you writing about at that time?
Oh, I don't
Boys.
know. Yeah, probably. And just, I remember like the first song I wrote was called Fish and Chip Shop. I don't know. Probably really terrible. But yeah, and then I was writing these songs where I was like pretending to be Darth Vader, or like I had this one song called Dinosaur Sex and stuff. Like, I don't know. It was very kind of like nursery rhyme-esque, you know? So
nursery rhyme gone Charli XCX.
Yeah, nursery rhyme rap in the past. Yeah.
Now, your parents funded your first album, is that correct?
Yeah, they gave me... I was like, I really wanted to make this record. Obviously, had no money because I was...
really young.
Really young. And so I basically set up a deal with them, and I said, please will you lend me some cash and I'll pay you back. And I paid them back like a long time ago, you know, but Amazing. It's funny, like, because whenever anyone asks that, I'm always worried that people are going to think I'm some, like, spoiled, you know, like... kid, because it comes across badly, especially in an industry like this. So yeah,
I think it's actually really admirable to say at such a young age, this is what I'm passionate about, lend me some money, and the fact that you paid them back, I think it's incredible.
And I think it's important that, you know, I pay them back straight away, and it was just, they were very supportive of me, which is really nice, you know, and I'm lucky to have that.
And how do they support you now? Or do they come on tour?
No, they don't. They don't come on tour. I would never let that happen. But they are so supportive. Like, you know, they're like, listen to the album all the time, even though they must be so sick of it. I don't know how they can like listen to that record like all the time, but they're just, you know, they're cute. Like, mum's always like, are you being safe, you know, like classic mum
and
things.
You're like, of course.
Yeah. They're great, you know.
Awesome. Well, we're going to talk more about your music in just a little bit, but we are getting to some more fan questions. If you're tuning in just now, make sure you go on Twitter and Facebook and use the hashtag MCUNA. We got Charli in the studio answering your questions live. All right, we got a question in from Paige, who wants to know, where is your favorite venue to play and why?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I did this really great show back in the UK at this place called the Deaf Institute in Manchester, and that was pretty cool. And the crowd there was amazing. But I played at Bowery when I was...
The Bowery Ballroom?
Yeah. And that was like, I felt like that was kind of iconic, and that was really cool. That was one of the first shows I did in New York, so I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Is it a dream of yours to play it somewhere like a Madison Square Garden?
You know, it's not. Maybe that's bad. I don't know. Like, no. I don't really think about that much. I just feel like when I'm playing. I don't care if I'm playing to like 5 people or 5,000.
It's about the energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. So Paige also asked, she's apparently a big fan, what's your favorite film and why?
Oh, that's so hard.
That is a tough one, Paige.
Well, I love Carrie. I feel like that film is just so amazing and emotional, and Sissy Spacek is one of my favourite actresses, and I think she's amazing in everything, like in Badlands and Carrie and everything. She's so beautiful as well, and I just love the story and the character. She's so like heartbreaking, and I'm excited to see like the remake. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah. Would you ever consider doing acting?
It's not something that I'm like, you know, pursuing, or you know, it's if it approached me, if it fell into my lap, then I would consider it, but I'm not like chasing a acting dream or anything, you know.
Fair enough. Matthew on Twitter, hello Matthew, asks, if you could collaborate with anyone, alive or dead, that's another tough one, who would it be and why?
I think it would probably be either Robert Smith, just because he's like my dream man, probably like emotionally amazing, and just, yeah, I love him. Or like Gwen Stefani, I think that would be really cool.
Have you ever met her?
I haven't, no. But I would love to work with her. I think she's brilliant.
Cool. We're getting a question in from Smelly Cat. Awesome name. Smelly Cat wants to know, he said, describe your musical style.
Well, I mean, it's definitely pop music, but I feel like it's pop music with my twist, which I see it as emotional pop music, and the record, like, I see in colour, and I see it as being the colour purple, which I feel like is bruised and, you know, emotional, but romantic as well. So I'd say it was purple pop music, the music I make.
So beautiful. All right, we're going to talk more about your music. Now, your major label debut is called True Romance, which came out in April. Congratulations. Tell me about the creating of that title, True Romance.
Well, I kind of panicked. Like, I never really thought about a title. Like, I never had, like, a dream album title or anything like that, and I feel like the process of me writing this album was over such a long period of time. One of the songs I wrote on there was when I was 15, you know. And so I feel like I got to the end of the writing process, and I kind of had these songs, and they were all about love and how my views of love and life had changed, and basically how I'd kind of grown up through romance. And so I thought it was appropriate to call it True Romance, because I think I discovered at the end of the writing process that true romance isn't when you're like walking on clouds and you're dreaming and you're in this magical kind of state of ecstasy all the time, you know. I feel like true romance is that, but it's also when you're like crying and you're alone and you're depressed and you're heartbroken, and I think the pairing of those together is what makes romance true, and that's why I called the record that, because I think the songs are like that, you know.
You are so amazing. I'm obsessed with her. Now, you have writing credits on all of your songs, which I find incredible, and also congratulations on that. That's a huge feat. Is that something that is very important to you and something that you plan on maintaining?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I like writing music. I feel like it's very important to have creative control over what you do. I also like writing music for other people, because I think it's kind of weird to see other people singing my words. But, you know, I love collaborations. Like, I feel like two minds are always better than one, especially with the people I work with. Like, I'm a very close-off person when it comes to the people that I work with. Like, I don't just work with anyone and everyone. I have, like, a very select group of people I like to work with. So it's always great, like, to collaborate with those people, and writing with them is just makes me feel good, you know?
Well, where do you draw your inspiration from for a lot of your lyrics? Where would you say that?
Definitely from, you know, like, my own kind of heartbreak, my relationships, but also from photographs and films and music videos. Like, to get in a creative mindset, I'll always watch, like, my favourite Chris Cunningham videos, you know, like Frozen or All Is Full of Love or something like that, or I'll look at photographs by Pierre and Gilles and that kind of thing, or like I'll watch Vamp with Grace Jones in it, and that just kind of like gets me in that mode, you know. So I guess I kind of draw inspiration from there.
Is there one particular song that you can think of right now where your inspiration was probably at its highest? One song that maybe is on this album?
Yeah, I feel like Nuclear Seasons was... I definitely remember when I wrote that. That was one of the first songs that I wrote with this guy, Ariel Rexshade, who's the main collaborator on my album. And that was like a really kind of like moment of like rich inspiration for me. We've been listening a lot to Martika and the Cockatoo Twins and to Pow. And everything in my brain was just this like purple, like whirling thunderstorm, you know? That's kind of like how I was feeling about that song. And like I was picturing the music video in my head, which kind of turned out exactly how I pictured it, which was me in lots of barren landscapes with oceans and that kind of thing.
So awesome.
And yeah, that I was there for that when we were writing that song, and I feel like it kind of turned out that way.
Cool.
You know?
Well, tell me about one of the biggest songs right now that's playing across the world is "I Love It."
Yeah.
With your collaboration with Iconopop. Tell me about how that came about and what it was like working with them.
Yeah, it's cool. Basically, it was actually really random. I went to Sweden to do a writing session for my record, and I was working with this guy Patrick Berger, and he sent me a couple of tracks. One of them was like a rough demo for "I Love It," which I thought was cool, and I wrote the top line, the music, the melody, the lyrics in my hotel room in like a half an hour, and then I went to the studio and I played it to him. He was like, "This is really cool." I was like, "Yeah, I know, but I don't really want to sing it." It wasn't right for me. It wasn't right for my record. So I cut the vocal, and then Iconopop came down to the studio like a week later, and they were really feeling the song, so they like sung over it, and then they kind of like messed around with it and like put their own spin on it, and that was the song. It was like fast,
Yeah, 30 minutes. That sounds really fast. Now tell me about like the creating of those lyrics when you first sat down. What were you thinking about?
Nothing. It was kind of just, I feel like I write the best songs like A, really quickly, and B, when it's just like spontaneous and you're just like blaring, and
right.
And I think it's kind of cool. Like I wasn't, it just happened. But it's funny because for Ino and Caroline, they were going through, at that point in their life, they were going through something that those lyrics meant so much to them. So it was kind of born to be their song, because for me, I was just like, "Wah!" But for them, they were like, "Whoa, this is like what we're feeling right now," about coming out of a breakup and being like, kind of like just all over the place and
right.
being this like firework, and that's what they were feeling, so it worked perfectly that it was for them.
That's awesome. Well, again, the show is all about the fans. We got to get to some more fan questions. If you guys are just tuning in now, use hashtag MCUNA. Send us in some questions. We're getting a question in from Choic, who wants to know, if you weren't a musician or artist, which career would you be in? We talked about this a little bit. We talked whether it be art or science. What do you think you would be doing?
I mean, maybe I'd write. Like, maybe I'd be a journalist. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'd be just lost. I'd be crying every day. I don't know what I'd do. Maybe something to do with film. Maybe like writing. Like, I don't know.
All right. Well, writing is very in line with what you're doing now.
Yeah.
All right. Finn the Diamond wants to know, was "I Love It" inspired by a real life experience, or was it purely fictitious?
Well, yeah. Like I kind of just said, it was just kind of me being. Like, I wasn't thinking when I wrote that song. It was like my mind was white. I was just like, I just pressed record on GarageBand and did what first came out, and that was it. So I actually wasn't going through a breakup at that point. So for me, it was kind of just like fire in my mouth, But for Iconopop, like I said, it was like the perfect time for them to sing that song.
Cool. Mike on Twitter wants to know, what's on your pre-show playlist? I love this question. And what gets you pumped up to be on stage?
I've been listening to, before I go on stage, I've been listening to Four Non-Blondes, The Cure, always, big fan. Loads of Uffy, Justice, what else? The Fugees, Justin Timberlake. A real kind of mix of everything. Enya, a lot.
Very eclectic.
Very.
Love it. Kimmy on Twitter says, "I need to know if there's a chance of Charli doing a solo tour in Germany one day."
Yes, there will be. I think the album comes out in Germany like today or tomorrow.
Awesome.
I'm hopefully I'll be in Europe in October or November. So.
All right. Well, speaking of your tour, what do you have going on? Tell us what we can expect from this tour.
Oh, well, it's gonna be pretty raw. It's gonna be pretty punk. That's kind of where I'm at with it at the moment. It's very like stripped. It's like I don't know. It feels like it's been like doused in like paint strimmer and bleach, and it's very like raw. Like there's it's very punk. The whole kind of ethos of this tour. It's like me in a van with like smelly boys, like traveling around like with my crap shoes. That's kind of like the essence of this tour.
Okay.
But I like that, like I used to listen to like punk mixtapes when I was younger with bands called like The Vibrators on it and stuff like that. So it's kind of like that, but I want to really like tour. I really want to like do this record justice, you know, and eventually I want to make the stage look like Tokyo. That's my dream, like neon lights and like a neon like mic lead and, you know, that kind of thing.
That sounds awesome. Now, we're here in New York City. You are going to be playing at Central Park tonight.
Yeah.
And Grasslands in Brooklyn.
Grasslands, yeah.
Yeah. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm so excited for tonight because it's the last show on the Marina tour, which is going to be really emo for us. We'll be crying probably. But it's... And everyone I've spoken to about it has been like, oh, wow, you're playing in Central Park. That's such a big deal, which I also think it is. And, you know, playing outside, and I hope it, like, thunders and rains, and it's going to be really, like, 80s and dramatic, I hope, you know?
That's amazing. Well, hopefully I will be there with an umbrella.
Yeah.
Or not.
Or a parasol. You can use it as, like... Either way, it could be sunny, umbrella, and
okay.
rain.
Or a white t-shirt.
Yeah.
And a bra or something.
Yeah, throw your bra.
Charli, thank you so much for coming into Music Choice and chatting with us, and all the fans out there for all your great questions. And before you go, we got to welcome you to our family by having you sign the couch.
Oh my God, yay! This is so cute.
Thank you guys. Tune in to the next show tomorrow on UNA. I'm Micah.